How's it going? How's it going? Oh, it's just
Very helpful.
appreciate it.
Caleb,
Yep.
what was your self-scout of your performance in Washington?
Yeah. I'd say obviously first half didn't play necessarily the way I wanted to. I think the ability to snap and start getting things going late in the game, being down that much, and having so many, I would say, negative drives or stalled drives and things like that. I think is a positive. Obviously, we have to start fast. We have to um, figure out ways to do that. We have to figure out ways to maintain and keep that going throughout 4 quarters or how many ever plays, drives, whatever you need to be able to win games. And that's a big part of me. I'm a big part of the leaders, a big part of us in our next step, I would say, because we need games like that. There's going to be games like that. And we have to be able to pull it out then.
Caleb, this week you have a lot of people kind of under fire because of the way that game went in the fourth quarter. You have some veteran players speaking up about coaching decisions. You have the Tyreek situation. What do you make about the drama that you're in the middle of right now?
Drama.
You can choose a different word if you want.
I'd say there's we just lost a game, and we lost a game in a way that sucks. Losing on a Hail Mary. If we went out there and we defense stopped them, how they were balling out the whole game, and had them at 12 points at the end of the game. If they stopped them with that 20 seconds left, and we did what we did, which marched down the field and score, have the 2 point, and get things going. We'd still be talking about it a little bit of probably our offensive first half and things like that, but the conversations would be, and I feel they'd be, just a little bit different. So putting everything on a Hail Mary and everything's exploding on the outside. We have to control what we control, control what everything in interior in here, and we got to focus on going out here and winning this game that we have now. We had our 24-hour period to feel how we felt and things like that, but we got to move on.
Matt said he met with the captains today. What were you guys hoping to get out of that meeting or relay to him?
Yeah, we shared our thoughts, and it was a normal captain meeting. We've lost before and had to deal with that, and we've won before and had to deal with that after, in the meeting and things like that. So I think it was a normal meeting. We voiced opinions like we typically do, whether it's for practice or games or how we felt about this or travel or whatever the case may be. We voiced our opinions, and he voiced his thoughts and things like that. Coach Flus, he voiced his thoughts, and we just had a grown man talk, and we all sat in there and went back and forth. No raising voices or anything, nothing like that. Just a real talk, and we want to win. That's simple. And obviously the coaches do, he does, we all do. So just being able to come together and find ways to do that is typically how those meetings go.
Well, when you've talked about, like, before with open communication with Shane, we know about you guys going to the coaching staff saying coach us harder, and then we hear captains speaking out about coaching decisions the last couple of days. What do you think it says about this team that the leaders of this team are the ones saying, hey, this doesn't fly with us, or we want to see something different right now?
I think, and I kind of learned this at my other places that I've been at, of college and high school, and kind of just growing up and learning more about football and things like that, and the better teams that I've been on, that the players lead, and that's what we have here. I think it's something that I go by myself is okay teams lead. I learned this I think 2 years ago now. Okay teams, nobody leads. Good teams, coaches lead, and then the great teams, the players lead. So we have to find ways to be better for ourselves and things like that. There's plays in that game, where we have to execute. Whether my drop is wrong, whether the route depth is wrong, whether the hand placement and your helmet isn't across the defender's chest, so we can get him moving and then cut up and things like that. So there's a lot of things that I think players first and foremost can correct. You always have to look at yourself before you start pointing fingers or doing anything like that, and make sure you're doing things right. So I think it starts there, and then from there, we're going to keep having communication. We're going to keep getting better between the coaches and us players. That's the point in football, is to keep getting better. It's a long season, and we have to keep growing.
Caleb, throughout your football career, if you've come off a loss, just a tough loss, have you had the inkling or the thought that I got the ball in my hands next week, we need a win, I'm the quarterback, and you got to take control. Have you had that in your career? And do you want to have that, or is there a feeling like, let me just trust everybody, it's just another game, or do you kind of almost want to be Superman and say, like, I can fix this?
No, I don't think the thought of it's time to be Superman kind of pops in my head. I think there's times where where you go out there and make plays and everybody calls it a Superman play, but without the small things of the details that go into it, whether it's an actual broken play or it's just another routine play, and going through your reads, I think there's no sense of one Superman person on the team. I think the trust and belief comes from the teammates, and being able to go out there and execute at a high level, and I think it starts with the details, and so I think going back to the first part of that was at some point I do want to be able to control as much as I can. I do understand that that's a learning process. I do understand that I don't know everything. I'm still learning. Both ears open to any coaching, whether it's my teammates or whether it's the coaches, things they've seen, things they've been a part of, and so that at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later, because I want to be able to affect the game, very differently throughout the years of my career. I think that's a goal of mine, but. I think the Superman thing, I think it comes from the details. It may look like one person, but it's all 11 of us going out there and doing our job.
Caleb, how do you process the final minute of that game where, like you said, you go down and you take the lead after a day? It's not been great, but you do take the lead with 30 seconds left. And then the way you guys lose from there, where Jaden Daniels is getting space underneath to throw, we see you signaling that the corners need to move up, and then there is a misplay by Tyreek. Tyreek is not doing his job on that final play, and it is a Hail Mary. You're right, that could happen, but the odds of that happening increased by some bad decisions in the final 30 seconds. So how do you process doing everything you did to take the lead and then seeing it fall apart like that?
Yeah, there's a sense of obviously right in that moment you're angry, you're furious that you just lost and you lost that way. It's a tough way to lose, but like I spoke about before, there's obviously a sense of accountability that I have to take. Didn't play well first half. We had stalled drives, and that goes back to throughout the week. That goes through during that game. Us not finding ways to put ourselves in position to be able to score, get 3 points, to keep multiple 3 points like they did. On the other side, they got multiple 3 points that allowed them to put themselves in a position to be able to obviously have that 30-second drive and throw a Hail Mary. And so if we keep putting points on the board, if we keep doing our job, if I keep doing my job to the best of my ability, finding ways to get points and things like that, protect the football, we win a lot of games, especially with the defense that we have, where this explosive offense that we just played, been putting up 30, 40, how many ever points, and we hold them to 12, and we can't go out there and execute throughout the whole game to be able to play complementary football enough. And so I got to do a better job. Us leaders have to do a better job leading throughout the week, and being on the details. And then when we get out there, there's obviously going to be games like that. We just got to find a way to pull it out.
I apologize if you addressed this already. During the final play, we see you on the sideline motioning on something. To Jason's point, were you telling Coach Eberflus to get back on the sideline, or were you trying to talk to your defense?
I was trying to get Coach Flus back on the sideline because I think the ref was going to throw a flag because the refs were right there saying they were going to throw a flag. So I just didn't want to give them a free extra couple yards to be able to help their range and things like that. And then just kind of just being competitor out there trying to help the guys.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. The Bears.
BJ, we heard from, I know you talked on a radio interview, some other of the captains addressed things that they didn't like about the game. How do you process just how many of the leaders of this team are willing to speak out about things that they might want to see done differently in the execution?
I mean, it's good because it's really wanted to be a player-led team, and then we do a good job of holding everybody accountable. So that's the main thing.
How do you feel that's received by, or how is it received by the coaching staff? Just from when you voiced what you said about the Doug Kramer play and all of that, how do coaches receive that?
I mean, we all talked about it, and me and Flus talked about it with the captains, and just gotta stay in house next time. I mean, I'm not gonna say sorry for what I said, but at the same time, it is it should have just stayed in house. But I said what I said.
Is that kind of the meeting? Is that when you guys had that captain's meeting with Flus? Was that something he tried to express, keeping stuff in house?
Yeah, and going forward, that's probably gonna be what it is. I mean, stuff slip, and I mean, I answered the question. I mean, truthfully.
Why is that even problematic that you would speak up? You're one of the most established players here. You're going to be here for a long time. You got the contract. You have as much invested in how this goes as anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, just protect the team. At the end of the day, that's really all it come down to.
Aren't you protecting the team in your own way by saying something? Isn't it imperative that you say something when you see something that's not right?
Technically, yeah, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know. Next time, it just probably won't get said, but just keep it in house.
Is it a hard line to walk between being a leader and holding your teammates accountable, but also not, like you said, speaking things that you shouldn't say?
No, because I don't change. Regardless, I come here to be me every day, walk out of here me every day, and be the fun, energetic, and the leader that I am. So I wouldn't be me if I didn't tell my teammates and stuff how it is.
So as a leader, do you feel a sense of responsibility to make sure the way you lost on Sunday and the national conversation that surrounded it doesn't linger with them? Like, how do you make sure that doesn't?
It's just going to the next one. We're not below 500. The sky isn't falling. So, I mean, on to the next opponent. That's the Cardinals, and we got to just figure out a way to be 1-0 this week.
The sky isn't falling, but there is kind of a lot of noise, a lot of stuff going on. How is this team feeling?
I mean, it feels good. I mean, to the media, it might be falling because of how we lost or whatever, however it is. But, I mean, everybody here is just fine and on to getting back on the win streak.
Do you feel this is a player-led team?
I do feel like that. Because no decisions or anything is made like without the leadership council or the captains meeting, and then we go from there.
How does that compare to other groups you've been a part of? How is this kind of player-led group? I mean, does it give you hope about what you guys are building here?
Yeah, because you got a bunch of veterans in there, and everybody speaks their opinion, and whatever sticks, and what doesn't, I mean, it just on the back burner until next time.
DJ, do you feel like you and Caleb are close to getting on the same page a little bit more in the games for some production?
Yeah, you're going to have that up and down throughout the season. When coverages roll or they push to my side and I'm the only person over there, I mean, it's hard, but you got to understand the game, and then he progresses on. You got Keenan, Rome, Cole, DeAndre. You got other playmakers that could make plays too.
Is there an element that they got to feed the beast, though?
There is a certain element, but if the beast is tamed by like 3 people, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to break the chain and go crazy, but I'm cool.
Are you being used route wise? Or are you being used similarly to last season?
I mean, it's all in the scheme of things. So I know my role when it comes to certain plays. and I don't want to go outside of that and mess up somebody else's chances of getting the ball. And like I said, you got all these playmakers out there. You can't just break the leash and just run your own stuff.
What do you as a captain think is the right way for the team to handle the situation with Tyreek?
I don't know. He spoken team in and said he was sorry. Whatever Flu's hand down to him as punishment for it. I mean, I think he did a good job just telling everybody in the building that he was sorry and gonna be better and learn from it. I mean, if he does, I mean that's great. If he doesn't, then that's when something really got to be done.
I know you've been on teams here that have lost games before, but does this sort of loss, just in the magnitude and what the conversation is coming out of it, feel like it's a test of the team's culture?
Yeah, because now you really get to see if we could bounce back and really stay together, and that's the biggest thing.
What gives you the optimism that you guys can?
Just the early losses. I mean, the Indy loss. I mean, we was tested then, and we bounced back with 3-game win streak, and now we had this one, which was even bigger because it was a NFC opponent. So now we gotta just go try to cook another NFC opponent the way we just lost and make them feel how we feel and just win from now on.
You mentioned having a losing record, and that's true. But you also just mentioned those two games that are killers, really. I mean, how do you feel about sitting here at 4-3 right now versus
Shit.
what you think this team?
It's better than last year. That's all I'm gonna say. And we went 0-something to start. So, I mean, being on the other side, I mean, on the winning side, it feel good right now. But you want it more, you know. You never lose the feeling of being high off a win. So, you need to stay on that high.
You guys obviously struggled scoring early. I mean, I think 10 points in the first quarter all season. What do you think is the reason for these slow starts? Is it attention to detail? Is it packet play? You know, like the plays you guys are running the packages. What do you think can kind of shake you out of it?
I don't know, execution. We gotta go out there and be on the details of everything, which we made a whole emphasis on, and we're gonna stick to it and see what happens.
You obviously don't want to get you in trouble or anything, but it looked like there was some frustration with the way the Washington corners were playing you guys.
Hey, you seen that? How you see that?
We gotta go back and watch the game.
Oh, you watch it? Oh, y'all go back. Camera? I know it's a lot of angles on there. They be catching me slipping sometimes. I be so mad. It's cool though. But I mean, it's competitiveness, man. They was cheeks. I was letting them know, but they was holding. So that was all that was. St. Juice had a nice game. Told them that. I mean, it was all fun and jokes, but I was really mad at them because they was just talking about the game last year and that I wasn't doing nothing. So I was just like, I live in y'all head rent free because of that, huh? Because they was talking about it and it wasn't even part of the game.